It is said if you would have met Casey, she would be your friend. As her friends, won't you help us continue her work by eliminating drunk driving and the harm that comes from alcohol abuse?
We've not fallen.
I represent the California Friday Night Live Partnership. I'm considered an expert in underage drinking prevention, and I've spent my entire career in that field. I've been privileged to work with attorneys general, governors, legislators, senators, assemblymen, policymakers, but most importantly, I've been privileged to work with young people to make changes around alcohol. But I have to say my most important job has been to be a parent. And I'm the parent of Casey Goodwin, Christopher, Kyle, and Kelly. And in all the opportunities I will have in the world, I believe that the most important thing we can do is to bring good children into this world. Our most noble effort shall always be that. When I got the notification that Casey had been in a crash, what you've been pretending for the last 2 days, my reality looked like this. I was in a meeting at COS, you guys all know where that was. I had my cell phone turned off, for one time in my life, huh you guys? My cell phone was turned off, and a police officer walked into the room. And he had very solemnness about his face. But everybody laughed because those of you who know me well know that I park badly and often illegally. And we were sure that he was coming to take me away. But the look on this man's face said otherwise when he asked me to come outside. I knew that this was more than just a parking ticket. He said, "Mrs. Goodwin, your daughter's been in a serious crash on Highway 41. She's been airlifted to University Medical Center, and they need you to come. You need to call your husband right away." We got to the hospital. University Medical Center is a scary place, I'll just tell you that. There was 2 gangbanger shootings that had occurred that night, and the room was filled with people that looked really tough. And I thought, why is my little girl here? This isn't where she belongs. Why is she here? These doctors took us into a room. They sat us down. And I don't remember any of their names or what they looked like, just that all of them had brown eyes. They just looked at us. And at that moment, I had a brief moment of feeling sorry for these people, because you could tell they were in their own kind of hell. And then one of them spoke. It was a man, and he said, "Mr. and Mrs. Goodwin, we've taken Casey into surgery, and we've done our very best. But every organ in her body is damaged beyond repair, except for her heart. And we can't close her body back up. Every bone in her body is broken, except for her right hand. And her brain is so severely injured that it's just a matter of time before her soul won't be able to contain the swelling. We need to ask you to let her go." And they let Casey go. And I'm telling you, one of the other hardest drives in my life was driving away from that hospital and leaving her there. It's just not what moms do when the babies are hurt. It's just not what you do. I didn't know how to do it. Nobody knew how to tell me to do it. But we went home and we tried to make a life. Fernando Ochoa was 18 years old. He was a senior in high school. He had an after-school job. He was the youngest of 5. He hit Casey's head on, going 100 miles an hour. She was traveling 55. 9 months later, Kyle had turned 16. He was excited about having a license, trying to figure out how to move forward in a family known for tragedy. And one of the officers here in this room that did the pretend with you yesterday stood on my doorstep and said, "Lynn, Kyle's dead." When he was killed in a single car crash, there was no alcohol involved, no speed, just no seatbelt. At 20 miles an hour, he was ejected from the car, and the car landed on top of him. He didn't have an opportunity to survive. The thing that Kyle and Fernando had in common was that neither one of them, I believe, made a decision to end a life that day. Kyle not his, Fernando not Casey's. But the deal is, there was no decision made at all. I don't think Kyle got in the car and went, screw it, I'm not wearing my seatbelt. I don't think that happened. He just wasn't in that moment. And he didn't think about what he needed to do next. Fernando, his friends let him down, he let himself down, his community let him down. Because he lived in a place where it was normal for 18-year-olds to drink after school. And that's not normal. That's not right. His friends didn't tell him that, his parents didn't tell him that, and the people in his community didn't tell him that. The laws that are made won't make a difference as much as the small moments that I contribute to. And I hope that you all, no matter what you end up doing, will have small moments. And the one thing I can guarantee you is none of the moments that add up to a life of value are ever wrapped in alcohol. Those aren't the ones that make a difference. They're not the ones that make a person. And they're not the ones that make a lifetime. And so I hope that when you're making decisions for the rest of your life, that you're in the moment and you consider where you want to be, where you want to go, and that you're thoughtful at that moment on those little decisions, because they add up to the big picture. And I hope that you'll take those moments seriously and count them as precious. And I hope that you have an amazing future, because you're all worthy of it. Thank you.
I wish I could walk through the doors of my mind, hold memory close at hand, help me understand the years. I wish I could choose between heaven and hell. I wish I would save my soul. I'm so cold from fear. I guess it's time I run far away, find comfort in pain. Oh, pleasure's the same, it just keeps me from trouble. Hides my true shape like Dorian Gray. I've heard what they say, but I'm not here for trouble. Far away, find comfort in pain. Oh, pleasure's the same, it just keeps me from trouble. It's more